We're here today with Chris Reid, Managing Director of Neometals. Chris, thanks for your time.
Thanks, David.
Outsiders looking into the Neometals business could believe that it's a complicated business, but in actuality that really isn't the truth.
Look, I think that is a bit of a misperception, absolutely. Neometals is as much of a business model or a strategy. So what we try to do is identify the key commodities that we want to be in long term. Essentially, you've got to be prepared to invest in the good parts of the cycle and the bad parts of the cycle. So what we generally try to do is, one, get comfortable with the commodity. Two, get the best asset that we can get in that commodity. Historically, Barrambie and Mount Marion were Western mining projects, so they had excellent work done on them. So what we do is build up the pie with the drill bit, the test work, the evaluation studies, and then bring in big partners to develop them and de-risk them. I think the misperception is around some of the innovation, the technologies that we invest in to essentially try to improve our cost position. You know, rather than trying to pick cycles to get in and out of, what we try to do is get the best asset in those commodities for the long term and then try to drive the cost position down. So for us, approaching them in that risk-averse way, getting the big boys to come in and spend the capital has enabled us to minimise our capital outlay, keep lots of money on the balance sheet, make money early by selling them equity, and then share it back with the shareholders. It's simpler than it may appear.
How important is the foundation that the business has created over the last 3 or 4 years?
Look, I think certainly in 2015, when we took the conscious decision to sell equity in the project, in the Mount Marion project, to Ganfeng, who was one of China's largest lithium producers, was really to enable it to grow in scale. Here was the fastest growing lithium business in the world. We wanted to develop it at 120,000 tonnes. They wanted more. We had MinRes in there who we gave equity to build the plant without us putting money in. And so we managed that situation to develop it at 4 times the scale that we did. Doing that and selling them both equity enabled us to keep a lot of money on the balance sheet. We had very little in the mine. The riskiest parts in mining are generally the construction, the commissioning and the ramp up. It's generally where they go wrong. So in essence, we took a fair chunk of money up front, and some people sort of said, well, you know, you sold out too early. I think we invested 3 mil. To start off with, we got 88. We've shared a lot with the shareholders. We've still got a very healthy balance sheet. We're now exiting out of the rest for a fair price. And then we're investing that, and that gives you the foundation. Now we understand the value chain, where we should be spending our time and our money, and so we're doing the lithium battery recycling project. Then for the Barrambie project, you know, we're very confident. We've been through 2 cycles with that project, invested 30 million, but it's the world's second highest grade hard rock titanium, one of Australia's biggest vanadium projects, most advanced in the world. It's got previously received environmental approval to develop. The DFS will finish this month. We'll have the results out in the next couple of weeks. And we'll move that, and we'll apply the same sort of strategy into developing that. So, you know, we've been able to harvest money, have a good foundation, get the best people we can to achieve the results that we need for our shareholders.
So touching on the DFS, what are the milestones that investors should focus on from the company over the next 6 to 12 months?
Look, we've got the Barrambie definitive feasibility study and new JORC 2012 reserve out in the coming weeks. We'll then move into the financing and offtake process for that. We expect to receive the extension for our environmental approvals in March. And then, with a bit of luck, a development decision this year. We'll move into the front-end engineering so we can do the technical studies in parallel with the commercial. In essence, that's all we can really do, is have the projects ready. The markets have to be ready. For the lithium refinery, we've advanced that. We've almost completed the feed study there, but there's been the lithium market has halved So now's not the right time, but a structural deficit will come in a few years' time and we can look to align the development with what the market wants. For the lithium battery recycling, we announced that we started commissioning that. We've completed the first stage, which is shredding all the lithium batteries. We're now moving into the hydromet. We'll complete that and have results just after mid-year, and we move into a feed study. So what we're trying to do is align a few of the development decisions towards the end of the year. And we're going to have lots of money on the balance sheet. That'll enable us to share some returns with the shareholders and invest, but we will retain in, I guess, generally, it's a pretty uncertain market, quite a lot of cash on the balance sheet to give us that flexibility on how to structure the next one. We can retain obviously a lot more equity now than we could originally developing the lithium. So one, flexibility, optionality, and have multiple projects that we can execute. But we would apply the same strategic rigour in allocating the capital, i.e. what's going to give us the biggest bang for the buck with the least amount down in the shortest period of time.
A highly experienced managing director, for Neometals, what excites you and gets you up and energised every day about the company?
Look, I think first and foremost it's the people. My father and I founded the company, Dad's still on the board. We've built up a team, we've got guys that have been there for 10, 12 years. We are developing new projects. I mean, with lithium, it's great to be involved in, the new energy boom, electrification of transport, energy storage, and building things. We get great pleasure out of building things, and certainly to take Mount Marion from a flat piece of ground into the world's second largest source of hard rock lithium production in a couple of years has been personally very satisfying.
Exciting times ahead, a great foundation built. Chris, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, David.